Hey, Katelyn.
Hey, Evan.
You know what they say about making assumptions?
What do they say?
It makes a booty out of you and me. But I have an assumption to make about this podcast topic about assumptions.
Okay.
It's going to be a great podcast.
That was a great podcast.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Evan and Katelyn podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about your assumptions about our work, which is basically our entire lives.
It is. So we're sticking with that intro.
It wasn't good?
It was okay.
I thought so long and hard about it. What was your intro?
Oh, no, it doesn't work now.
Doesn't work. Also, what were you giggling about right before we started podcasting?
That we're wearing the same t-shirt. That was actually what my intro was going to be about.
We don't plan this, you guys. We just have a lot of the same shirts.
So we can wear 90% merch.
So today we're going to be tackling assumptions about our day jobs, which is making content. And
and by day jobs, we mean like
our 7 days a week, all day jobs.
Yeah, till we go to bed.
Now, we started out just doing YouTube videos and posting occasionally on social media, but it's expanded over the years. It's so strange saying years.
I know.
And it literally being like 3 years?
3.5-ish.
3.5-ish years, grown from just a single YouTube channel to 5 active YouTube channels now that we have the Evan and Katelyn 2 up and running.
That's true.
And 3 distinct branches of content. And with the gaming, we have the Twitch and YouTube side. There's a lot going on now. A lot of juggling going on these days.
Yeah, it is a lot.
So,
I think most of the assumptions are mostly about YouTube.
Yeah.
I read through these. If you're just now hopping in, this is the 3rd installment of our assumptions about us, but we got these a bit ago, so it's even been a while since I read them. So it'll be a slight surprise for both of us.
Yeah, so we did assumptions about us generically, assumptions about our relationship, and now it's assumptions about work. But before we do that, should we move on to a little What's New segment?
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
What's new with you?
Is there a music that we play here?
I don't think so.
Well, I think that what's new, are we going to talk about how our merch got stolen or like, oh no, how we are streaming more. Okay, we're going to do that.
I mean, you can't mention the merch getting stolen and then not talk about it.
We don't want to focus on the negative and like, well, I guess like there is one positive. Hey, if our merch is getting stolen, does that mean that we've made it as YouTubers?
I think that means we've made it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not a big story. One of our it was one of our Twitch mods.
Oh yeah.
Let us know that he found a version of our make fail make shirt on some, I don't even remember what website, but they're selling our make fail make.
Yeah, and like if people are searching for that and they order from the not right website, go to shopevanandkatelyn.com for real merch. But if they order from that website thinking that they're buying our merch and it gets in and there's no customer service or if it's bad quality, I do understand why it's a worry for a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to like misrepresenting. But anyways.
but anyways, the other thing that we've been doing is we have been streaming a lot in a lot of new ways. We started our very first like inaugural like departure from gaming Twitch streams with our underwater stream. And that was an experience. We have that video probably still coming out on the 31st of this month.
Hopefully,
fingers crossed. But and you'll hear more of why it's hopefully in the after show if you guys are patrons. But
I don't know if we go into the why it's hopefully. But you'll hear a lot more about the behind the scenes of doing the underwater stream in the Patreon after show.
Yeah. But after that, I kind of got really excited about doing non-typical streams. And the first thing that I did is I built a mobile streaming setup. And that's all like kind of working now. Although I haven't done a test stream with version 2.0. But then we also did a garage stream. And it's been fun like thinking about.
They're both technically garage streams.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so it's more like there's the mobile stream and then there is a, what's the right word? Not stagnant. Like what's the opposite of mobile?
Stationary.
Yeah. Garage stream. And the reason that there's 2, the mobile is literally we can just like get up and walk around with it.
Yeah, and I tested it. I can like cross thread the internet from my phone's hotspot and another hotspot, And that creates an internet speed that's fast enough to stream fairly high quality enough. So we could like go out into the woods, find a scary forest, and do a night stream.
It's funny. You've been bringing that up lately specifically. Like, ooh, is there like a scary forest we can go stream in? And I'm like, who are you, me?
Yes.
I just also know that you would have a lot of fun with that.
Oh my gosh, I would.
But like, we need to do it safely, and we need to set a good like.
We need woods that we can be in at night.
We need to be good role models. We need to be good role models, but
it would be really nice to go out and do a scary night stream.
Yeah.
Do you want the voice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that don't sound scary.
No, you don't. You need the deep voice.
I'm scary.
I'm a scary lady. I'm a scary little lady.
Here, I got it. I'll deepen it even more for you. Try it again.
I'm scary.
What's happening? No. No.
You stop that. But the reason that there's also a like stationary garage stream is because it allows us to have 3 different cameras, which we can't do. Well, I mean, technically we have 2 cameras in the mobile stream. But anyways, we've been experimenting a lot.
It's been fun.
We've done a couple streams. They're up on the 2nd channel.
Yeah, but it's a new challenge. It's like I feel like we keep on like figuring one level of something out, and then we up it, and then up it, and then up it, and up it. And at each of these levels, I mean, the garage stream, we need to kind of figure out what project can we do fully in a live stream. What makes a cool visual difference? What doesn't make too much noise? And how do we balance like the project versus the interaction and all of that? It's a lot.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a lot to figure out, but like it's nice having these challenges and then figuring out how to overcome them.
Thinking about like what projects we can do in like a 2 to 3 hour session that we can start and finish makes me think that I wonder if people like I wonder how long people assume our projects take. Because I mean sometimes we'll include a 1 sleep later, which is the shirt we're both wearing right now, shopevanandkatelyn.com. Sometimes we'll include like a 1 sleep later or 2 sleeps later or after several hours.
Yeah.
But we don't put that for every day that goes by. There's a lot more days that go by than what actually gets acknowledged in the edit. And even if you try to like count what outfits we're in, sometimes we'll like put on the same shirt for continuity or something.
Well, often like, and then we can explain why. We edit as we go, so Katelyn can figure out what, like, how the video is shaping up. Do we need more talking? Do we need more montage? Or, you know, like, let's figure out the pace of it so that we don't film everything and then have to cut it all out later. So sometimes like we'll film just like an hour, and that'll be enough for Katelyn to edit for the rest of the day. And then I even have like a special area in my closet to rehang the shirt that I'm wearing in our most recent video. And I'll admit, I've worn like the same shirt for multiple days in a row.
I'm in the same PJ pants I've been in for like a week at least.
but they don't stink as much as my shirts do.
Should we
Yeah, let's jump into like we're already talking about work. Let's jump into some assumptions.
That was my segue.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So we have an assumption from Saberfish. I assume that Evan was the one that got Katelyn into making things specifically with resin.
I think that I'm generally the person that leads the charge with some projects because Katelyn, again, is editing, which is honestly one of the hardest things that we do. Like, making a video is like entertaining is difficult, and anyone who's tried to make a video entertaining and short
I think this
knows,
is taking like a step back though. This isn't like for any individual project.
Who was the first person that recommended resin? I can't really remember. Really, the ideation is pretty much equally both of us.
I think. So here's my memory of it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I think the resin was me. Because what was our first resin project?
Geode.
The geode table. And my idea was everyone was doing river tables. I bet we could do a geode table. We had never tackled any resin before that. So I think the resin was me. I think there have been a lot of forms of making that are 100% you. Like, I mean, anything that's digital fabrication, CNC, 3D printing.
Or
I think a lot of the things,
stream.
yeah, the underwater stream, things that involve like pressurized systems, like the propane cannon or the underwater stream or the shooting each other with the air cannon. Those are all 100% you. I would say with like, I think in the beginning, like very, very beginning, I think I had like an itch to like make DIY things like for our house and for our wedding because I was cheap. But I think I had like the itch to do it maybe before you did, but I think you took more of the initiative. I had like the want to do it, but you took more of the initiative to actually do it.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
You know?
That rings true to me.
Yeah, that's like how I'm remembering it. But yeah, so for the making, it kind of just depended on like what was the thing.
Yeah, but in terms of the ideation, it really is equally both of us. And sometimes what's pretty funny is on the crazier end of projects, Katelyn, like, I'm the one who like makes the call on whether it's doable or not. So at times Katelyn comes to me like at Shark Week. She's like, okay, Evan Shark, I have this crazy idea. Let's do this crazy thing. And I like either like approve it as something that's like achievable within our means, or I say,
Yeah.
Or, but like, you know, sometimes we'll still write it down as like, you know, maybe this will spark something else. Like we like during
Or like maybe
ideation,
if we have time one day.
Yeah, there are some projects that we want to do that would be cool, but that are just sometimes literally too big, too heavy, or would take too long.
I can see that we're thinking about the same one.
We're thinking about the same one, yeah. So we have an anime nerd alert. I assume that Evan was the one who first started putting googly eyes on the tools. You are correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was you. And you bought the giant pack of googly eyes on Amazon.
And I bought like the giant 6-inch googly eyes for the
AC.
And for the AC, I'm so glad I did that.
I love his eyes.
I honestly feel like I need to get more googly eyes going again.
I feel like we need to find more big things to put the googly eyes on.
Yeah. Okay, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. From Maybe Music, I assume that you guys are actually professionals. You know how to use a mic pack, and the cameras are super professional, and you're amazing at camera work.
Maybe Music. You're halfway there. Oh, that's Maybe Music. We do a lot of research, and we take a lot of this very seriously. Like the quality we do take seriously.
And it's taken us a while to get here. Like, if we listen or watch some of our older videos, like they can make us cringe because the audio is so bad.
And honestly, like there are some things where I know that we could get better at this, that, or whatever. We could move to like 4K, 12K, 8K, or whatever, and all this like whatever. But honestly, like the main focus for us is efficiency. And I think when it comes to efficiency, there's not many people who can beat YouTubers.
Yeah,
when it comes to
true.
like producing content.
We're professional YouTubers.
that gets they get large amounts of views for like the size you're at with like very little time put in. I mean, talking with other people who have been on TV and movie shoots, the amount of time that goes into that and the sheer man hours is huge. And you know, the two of us are just cranking out content literally on 5 channels, and it's just a lot. Now, what we did is we have tuned our setup for that efficiency. You know, I mean, we could do like scrolling pan shots and have like timers where like there's a time lapse and it goes around on a track.
But we realized that that's not really what our content is about. And we didn't really have, I mean, you had a little bit of camera experience with like a little bit of like hobby photography, kind of.
Yep.
And other than that, we didn't really have any experience with the kind of stuff that we do now.
No, it's all been learned just like through YouTube videos and just a lot of online research. So I'd say halfway there.
Yeah. Okay. Another assumption from BreeTube, I assume that they don't like doing crafts as much as they used to.
I think that's incorrect. I like doing it more.
Yeah, I like doing it more.
I
think the reason I like doing it more is when we first started doing things, we were much more tutorial based. And so we had to think like, oh, are we explaining this the best way? Do we get a shot that clearly shows that? Do we need to be more elaborate? Like the things we worried about were more of that. And now, because we're not really doing tutorials, it's more just like hang out with us while we do this project. It's made it a lot more fun.
Well, I think that another thing, maybe going back even farther for Bree's question, maybe she was saying before we started the channel whatsoever. Like when we were doing crafts for the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And crafts just for like, or like even fixing the house. I think that I enjoyed a lot more because at the end, we have this like glowing center of satisfaction that just like powers us in our like
by having the video.
chests. By having the video, by like having the time mean something in multiple ways. Because I think that like, I don't know what discussion we were having, but we just love efficiency. What was that discussion around? Do you remember what that was?
I don't remember. We talk about efficiency a lot.
We talk about it. Like, I think that we were just talking about happiness or something, and somehow efficiency came up, and efficiency is just something that we love a lot. And I think that there's another side of things. Along the efficiency side of things.
How are you tying in efficiency?
We are living our lives, and our hobbies that we enjoy, we're also getting paid for. We're enjoying it. We're spending time together.
Which makes our time more efficient.
We're layering the time that we spend in our days is like hits multiple check boxes all at once per minute or something. You know what I mean?
Which is why even though we will often joke like at the beginning of this podcast how we're like 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. We do kind of joke about that, but not in a like we want you guys to feel bad for us. It's we joke about it because it just is what
it is what it is. Yeah.
But we have chosen to do this, and one reason that we do it is because, like you said, so many things are layered. It's not like it's like when we're working, we're also hanging out. We're also playing video games or making a craft, or even like editing. Like I enjoy editing, or like you enjoy designing things. Like, and of course, there's parts of our job that feel more like work. But those parts are not the 12-hour a day, 7 days a week parts.
Yeah.
It's not that all the time.
But I think that there's another thing, and one reason why we have 5 channels, why we have mixed it up so much, is because the mixing it up makes everything fresh again. And the reason why we do like resin crafts, and then we react to, or then we like test out life hacks, and then we do like a crazy underwater stream. That variety makes it all feel fresh all the time. Whereas I do worry that if we were doing the same thing every day, like
I think we might get bored.
As fast as we can, like filming a video and then editing it, then filming a video, then editing it, and it's like the same types of videos, I think that we would burn out.
Yeah, I think
a
so
lot.
too.
And I feel like we would need breaks.
Yeah.
To like add more like varied life in between. But since our life is varied, doing all of the things we do for work, we don't need a break as much.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and I would also say just on the enjoying the crafts more now than before, I think a big part of it is like getting to share things. It does make it even more enjoyable.
We have talked about that. Like sharing things online is something we enjoy.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I wonder if anyone's that's watching the video version of this has noticed something different.
Oh.
Oh.
About me?
About Katelyn. We'll answer what it is at the end of the podcast.
What if we forget?
We probably will.
Okay. Here is an assumption from Kaylee. I assume you've tried like 30 different things and none of them work, so they didn't get a video. I would say there have been a couple things that we tried to do as projects that didn't end up becoming a video.
I can't even remember any.
One was we were going to do 3D printed, copper 3D printed letterboard letters. This was a really long time ago. But you know those letterboards that are on like Pinterest and Instagram? They say little cute messages. We were going to 3D print our own letters and like emojis and stuff with this copper filament. And we started that and we just never finished it. It just got boring. And I think there's been some more. There's some that are like in progress.
We have I want to revisit the propane cannon, but we
that's
haven't
not
really
what I'm talking
started
about.
that.
But there's one that I can't mention that is in progress.
Oh, that one. The logistically complicated one.
The logistically complicated one. So there's some things that are in progress that aren't videos. that like might be one day.
It's very small, the number of times we've started and stopped.
Yeah, like that's all I can think of. There's been a few times where we've started researching for a project and then realized it's not right. But the times where we've actually started filming and not finished it, I can only think of 2, honestly.
2, yeah. That's all I can think of.
There might be 1 or so more, but
maybe 3, yeah. But
usually, like, I think the thing especially about our videos now is, like, for most projects, they don't have to turn out perfectly as we envisioned them for it to be a good video. Now, most of the time it does end up like pretty close to what we wanted, but that kind of removes some of the pressure that might cause us to feel like we have to abandon a project. Like we'll just go with it, even if it's not going perfect.
Yeah. Rucifer assumes that you two would want to build your own house or completely renovate a fixer-upper. I'm just going to answer for me, because we haven't touched on this recently, but that's no for me.
So I've changed on this slightly, because like back in our blogging days when we were fixing up our house and blogging about it, I thought that would be like the coolest thing to do, a fixer-upper. It was very in line with like the blogs I was reading and the show Fixer-Upper and like a lot of the content that I was consuming, and it seemed cool. But what I have since realized is, I mean, one, if we did anything like that, we would of course be documenting it. I think I would like a little bit of that. But I would not, there's a lot of like renovation stuff that I just have no interest in doing. I have no interest in like getting good enough at that I would trust myself to do it on our house, like plumbing, electrical, like foundation, like the basic bones and structure. I have no interest in doing that. You know, I might be down to like redo
knock down a wall.
No, I would knock down a wall. I would
just the destruction part.
No, I would do some of the building back up parts.
Okay, yeah, some with some help.
With help. So I could see us doing some sort of like hybrid maybe, but I think what I've realized is like, even though that stuff seems very exciting and glamorous isn't the right word from the outside, but like the transformation is glamorous.
Yeah.
Like the thought of doing a lot of that work ourselves does not sound like fun work. And if we're making a video about something, we need to be enjoying it. Otherwise, it's going to be a terrible video. So
I think that this is my thought. If we found a house that was in the exact right location, that was the right size, that had everything that we wanted somehow magically, we'd just get that. And then we'd use that efficiency, because we like efficiency, to just create more good videos, you know? But if there was a house that had good structure, good bones, and was like a pretty like close fit, and I'm not afraid of fixing it up some, but I'm not sure how much of that we would be doing versus how much we'd be getting help on that.
Yeah. Again, it depends on if like the work was fun or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice. All right. So Avid Reader has a assumption.
I thought you were gonna read it.
Okay.
Avid Reader says assumes that you've been able to film videos / live stream even while having disagreements privately.
That is kind of true. We do non-verbally communicate. It's not disagreements, but like Katelyn will give me a warning if I'm like going off on tangents too much, or like.
Not really that. Okay, well, let's separate live streaming and videos.
Oh, yeah.
If we're filming a video and there's something we're not agreeing on, we won't film it until we've like talked about something.
Yeah, totally.
Just because like there's, you know, we're in control of the filming process. We can just be like, we could just stop filming and chat about like whatever it is that we might be disagreeing about. Like we had different ideas for like what the intro would be, and we thought we were on the same page, but we weren't on the same page, so we kind of went in different directions. Like we'll stop and we'll talk about it and we'll figure it out, and then we'll start filming again.
And that's the main place where we'll need to have discussions. The intro is so hard.
Live streaming, there's not really disagreements. Isn't the right word. There's not. We don't really have like disagreements while we're live streaming, or like if there's a disagreement we have beforehand, we would talk about it. But there have been a few times. I'm trying to think of like a specific situation. but like where one of us will like give the other person like a secret squeeze, like oh, we shouldn't talk about like it, like if we're like
be aware of what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like a disagreement. It's like a little, hey, heads up.
yeah, like oh, we're not supposed to talk about like you're talking about behind the scenes sponsor stuff. Make sure you don't mention the sponsor name because we signed an NDA and we can't say who the sponsor's name is.
Yeah.
You know, little like things
Little
like
things
that.
like
So we'll
that.
give like a little knee squeeze. Like be careful about the direction you're
I think
going.
the coolest thing though is we do have like good nonverbal communication skills, like during conversations, even just like in real life with other people around. You know, it's like, well, we just like kind of know each other's like wavelengths or something like that.
We did it like back when we went to events.
Yeah.
We would often do that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, managing like, you know, lots of things non-verbally.
Like if we get separated,
yeah.
like in the crowd, we can like find each other and like signal.
Yeah. That was good. So let's see. Lucas says, at first glance, you look dorky, crazy, and fun, and you make a lot of jokes. But at second glance, you are hardworking, independent people that value your work greatly. I think that kind of is that is an interesting thing, because we do try to kind of balance those two aspects,
Yeah.
because we do work really hard. And I think that you're very intelligent.
I think you're very intelligent.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Handshake.
Thank you.
Business handshake.
Yes, business shake.
But at the
We
same
are
time,
business partners.
we are both of those things truly. Like, as part of our core identities, I am extremely corny and goofy and fun-loving, but we all are also very hardworking. And we've combined both of those to make our YouTube videos, because
Yeah.
that just works for us.
And a lot of the like hardworking side might like at first glance seem like that's all the behind the scenes stuff, but like a lot of the stuff that we've made, like think about like the tensegrity table or like the underwater stream. I know that video is not out yet, but if you watch the live stream, you got to kind of see like a preview of what the setup is. Like those things aren't things that just come easy, you know? And there's some videos that like are pretty quick and easy to put together and don't require a ton of hard work, like testing the life hacks, for example. You know, every now and then we're able to find an easy project we can do. But like a lot of them do require a lot of work and brainstorming and designing and redesigning. And so it is
sourcing of materials, or coming up with new ways to use existing materials. Because that's what makes it for interesting videos.
hours and hours of sponsor emails and
Oh
calls.
my gosh. Days.
Days.
We're not going to get into it, because everything is good.
Yeah. You're very convincing.
Very convincing.
But yeah, I would say like that we are both. But at first glance, we probably come off. You probably see like the goofy side.
Yeah, you see the goofy side more than the hardworking side.
Yeah.
Just because, you know,
It's more in your face.
most of the hardworking side is honestly behind the computer. And that just isn't super interesting. I have a good one. I just like looked at this and I was like, oh, I just want to see what you think. Christopher Hefner assumes that Katelyn holds back her frustration when Evan goes on a tangent when the camera's rolling.
So I would say that in the past, I would be like trying to edit your words in my head and make sure like, okay, if you're going on a tangent, is this a tangent that I can include? And if it's not a tangent that I can include, I need to bring you back to the original thought so that I can cut out the whole tangent. I would say these days, I've leaned more into just like let like the tangents will just roll. The tangents, and I'm like either I cut it or I turn it into a funny thing, and it doesn't really matter which one I do. So like it's fine either way.
You add the robot voice to finish
I add the robot voice.
sentences,
Yeah,
you know?
I used to stress more about you not finishing your sentences, and I would like prompt you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dang it, I need you to finish that thought for the edit. And sometimes I do get a little caught up in my head, like when we're filming, because I am like editing it slightly in my
That
head.
makes sense, because you have to make what we film work. In the end, you're the one who's responsible for like pulling all the loose little bits together into one, like, you pull all the threads into a fabric or something like that, So I know that stress is on you. Most of my stress is like, what do we do next? How is this going to work? Like, when are the supplies coming in, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that
divide and conquer.
I wanted to bring up Christopher's question because I do think that you were more frustrated in the past, and now it's almost like a bonus.
Yeah.
Or something. It just leads. It leads to good things more than bad things.
Yeah.
More
and
frequently.
if it ends up not being a funny thing, then I can just cut it if I need to cut it. And
or just
I don't worry.
Add a text transition. Or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
I mean,
and
Katelyn
then
has
Evan
more
talked
tricks
about Evan talked about technology for 5 minutes straight, and then
Yeah.
I just have like little bits of you and this and this and that and that, and it fades and it zooms.
You have more tricks up your sleeves.
Yeah, I have more tricks up my
More
sleeve.
editing, like ninja stars.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because before I only had like a couple techniques to get across what we were trying to communicate, and so if the raw material didn't fit into those techniques, then I'd have to like catch it in the moment. So I would be thinking about like, when Evan finishes his sentence, I'm going to have to say like, hey, can we say that one more time just in case?
And I think that I actually have also gotten better about
You have.
making the flow of things be a little bit smoother. And it's mainly podcasts and live streams that have helped me with that, honestly.
Yeah,
Like all of our
where there's
content,
not editing to help. Yeah.
all of our content has been like linked and like that benefiting its mutual partners around,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting. Brian Amont has an assumption that there is stress involved weighing what you would like to do against whether it will trend.
I think there is some stress involved with that, because obviously you want your videos to do well. There are some videos that we just do and we know they're not going to do well, and that's okay. So for example, like the first cooking video, we were like, this is probably not going to do super great. It actually ended up doing a lot better than we expected. But we were okay with that.
And there's some videos that we honestly kind of do just to like keep our maker's chomps strong. I'm not sure if that like
Is it
creds,
chomps
creds?
or chops? I think it's chops.
Yeah, it's chops.
Keep our chops
or
strong.
cred,
Oh, yeah.
or something like that, I don't know.
You know what's interesting? In the comments of our video that just went out, the life hacks video, because it's titled like Makers Test Viral DIY Life Hacks.
Yeah.
There are people in the comments that like weren't sure why we use the word maker.
Oh.
Like, and it's interesting because like we started in the maker community, which is kind of like
Should we define that maybe?
Yeah. Like we started there, but we've kind of like some of our audience is still part of that community, but some of our audience like is not part of that community.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly where the split is, but it used to be like all makers because
Yeah.
we were doing tutorials. Like you're not watching tutorials if you're not making stuff.
And
But so like
can I take a
maker,
stab at like the maker term?
yeah,
So I think makers is a term that a group of people have kind of settled on to identify themselves as, because woodworker, metal worker,
3D printer,
3D
fabricator,
printer, like crafter, or craftsman, craftswoman, or like needlepointist, or like whatever.
resin artists,
Resin artists, like that whole community kind of has been unifying to a certain degree around the term maker, because a lot of these are getting mixed too. There are people who are woodworkers, metal workers. There are people who are resin artists and woodworkers. There are people who do crafts and build a workbench. Like all of that's mixing, it seems, more and more. And maker just seems to be the best term for it.
Yeah, that kind of encompasses all of it. So it's like if you make things, any types of things, you're a maker.
Yeah.
But it is a slightly like newer
It is a niche term.
term. It's more niche.
It is
It's
more
been
niche
around
term,
for a
yeah.
bit. Like I think heard it used that way with Maker Faire.
Yeah. Which is so funny because Maker Faire, like Make Magazine wasn't
Even that.
even that. Make
But
Magazine was like all about tech and technology. It wasn't
Yeah.
about the maker movement.
But it kind of got adopted by the makers.
Yeah. And then they adopted it.
Yeah.
in turn and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that going back to Brian's question, though, I assume that there is some stress involved weighing what you would like to do against whether or not it will trend. It's not really trend even. It's like, will it perform well for our channel? And honestly, the thing that's so interesting to me is the time we were most stressed about our videos performing well is when our channel was growing really well, when we had like 4 good videos in a row.
And you don't want to break your streak.
The more, you get like more pressure the longer you have a good streak, which is weird.
Yeah.
And kind of like having like a video that's like really like not good, like, and then you can have another one that's not as good. That kind of breaks the cycle, and it like frees you up to like say, I'm just gonna, I don't know.
Yeah, you're like kind of more bummed out for a little bit because you're like, man, the past few have just like not been great. But then you're like, well, I'll just experiment because like it might not do great anyway.
I mean, maybe that's just us. That's just how we approach it and everything. But there is stress involved in choosing a good idea. But once we know it's a good idea and it's something that we're excited about, we just go for it.
Yeah. From Sharpshooters, I assume it was Evan's idea to start the channel.
Can you even remember that far ago? Because I can't.
I can't actually. It was your idea to start selling products, which is one thing that led us to the channel.
I kind of started the ball rolling in general by quitting my job and starting down this alternate path. I don't know who brought up YouTube first.
I don't know either. I remember us having initial discussions about it because we were like, there's not really too many couples out there that make things together.
It was almost like at the same time. We were having a conversation that led to us saying that we want a YouTube channel, and both of us were present in that conversation.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was one person presenting it to the other.
No, it wasn't one person presenting it. I think that like we had just watched Fixer Upper or something like that.
Yeah,
and then
this
we just
was in
started
like the height of Fixer Upper.
Yeah, and then we just started like searching what YouTube channels were out there together, and we realized that there's a gap missing, and then we just are like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And yes, let's start a YouTube channel. Yeah. So it was like almost like concurrently. There was no like who thought of it first. It was like literally a shared concept.
Yeah. We used to have a lot of like when we were both working our office jobs, we would have lunch together almost every day. And there were lots of lunches where we would just like brainstorm this stuff. So it was probably one of those lunches.
I think I remember it like on our couch in our living room.
Oh, really?
And we were just searching all these YouTube channels and stuff. And we were like,
I do remember searching in the living room.
What should we do this? I think that's kind of how I remember
it. It's so fuzzy.
All right. So we have a question or an assumption from When Grapes Pop. I assume you two didn't realize it would be so enjoyable to watch when you started your channel. What's weird is I don't know what we assumed.
I don't know.
It's like, I don't know what gave us the confidence to say like, yeah, we'll start a YouTube channel and people will come.
I feel like we were overconfident, and I feel like if I knew as much as I knew now, I might have more hesitation. So it's probably good that I didn't.
Yeah, in a way, ignorance did help us there to a certain degree.
I think like we already had the blog and had a very, very, very small amount of viewership there, but we got good feedback there about people like liking us writing about the projects we did together. And so we were like, if we just turn that into video form, like should be pretty enjoyable. But in our, initial videos, there's a lot less of our own personalities in the videos. That's something that's evolved a lot over time.
Yeah. So
like in the beginning, we felt kind of weird about putting our personalities more into the video because it's like, as just like a tiny channel, we were like, if people stumble upon us and they're looking for a tutorial on how to upgrade, fix drywall, then if we're in there like joking around like crazy, they'll just be like, who are these people, and leave. So we were really very conscious of not putting too much of our personalities in the beginning.
This is interesting. We have an assumption from Malik Badarine. Sometimes you have fights and end up having to make a video while still upset with each other and that there are quite a few videos up on the channel where that has happened. That's almost more of a relationship question.
That is. But I'm trying to think if there's any videos that are up where we were like, there's been videos where like one of us was frustrated at like a thing that went wrong with the project and we kept going, but I don't think there's any where we were upset at each other. Because like we said, if there's something that we are upset about, we'll talk about it and figure it out before we start filming again. Like, we're not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I think the very first video where we had a disconnect at the very beginning, where it was a big disconnect, was the Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman.
But then we just like stopped filming that entire day. We just hung out and chatted and figured out how to approach things.
And the reason there was a disconnect is it was because, like we said, typically, like, I kind of keep straight in my head, like, what scenes we're going to film, how the edit's going to go together, do we say what we need to say? And Evan kind of keeps straight, like, what are the next steps in this and that? And for this particular project, because it was one I was more interested in doing, I took on the, like, research for it. But then, like, I wasn't properly communicating that, like, what we needed to do to you, so you didn't really know what to do. And I was also trying to do all my typical, like director, producer brain type stuff.
And I was lost.
Yeah, and you were super lost.
It was just the first time we had done that, and we were just like, we just didn't know. Like, each of us had different expectations of the other, because Katelyn was still like thinking about things from a filming point of view, whereas normally I lead the project and I do certain things. So I was assuming that she would do those things, and she was maybe assuming that I would still be doing.
I wasn't assuming you would. I was just having a hard time playing both roles.
Playing both roles, yeah, that is hard to play both roles at the same time.
But with that, like, we realized it pretty soon,
like real soon.
And then like really soon into starting. Like, I don't even know if we had filmed anything. Like, I don't think anything where we were like not on the same page is in the video. Like, my memory is that we realized we were both kind of off.
Yeah.
And so we stopped filming. We like talked about it and figured out what it was.
And then
that
we
was
had
like
fun
making us
afterwards.
off. And then we were like, okay, we're good. We like know why we were getting frustrated. Like, Evan was feeling lost. I was feeling overwhelmed. We like figured stuff out, and then we filmed.
And I remember the filming process was really fun. Like, playing with the Warbler and the thermoplastic and all of that stuff. That was just some good stuff. Was it the tiara?
I think tiara was the tiara. First. Yeah, the tiara.
Sorry. Yeah, not the bracers. The tiara.
The tiara. Yeah.
And there have been other moments where one of us has been upset for one reason or another. Mostly, honestly, it's me, and because between the two of us, we get so rarely upset, and that's all resolved and all of that real quick because we address it. But the thing that just gets frustrating is like when the project goes wrong. And if you guys have been out there, like, when making a project and you put so much time into it, and then you accidentally spray acetone all over your project, and it ruins the polishing that you've done on your resin knives, and it's just upsetting. It's just upsetting, especially like valuing efficiency and then like taking on 3 knives instead of just one. And it all worked out in the end, and that video did well. But like, ooh, there's just some things that just upset you.
Yeah.
And you're just upset.
Yeah.
And honestly, for that, we just like, I just keep on working. We just don't film for a while. Yeah. And then we film when we're like good to go again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Even then, we don't.
No.
Like, if one of us is genuinely frustrated, like, we wait till we're at a better place to start filming again. Because, like, we're not good actors.
No. If you've seen us upset in a video, it's because we're upset. And if we're happy, it's because we're happy. But there haven't been like almost any, I can't think of any moment at all where it looks like we're happy, but we're not happy on the inside.
Yeah. I have been sick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember once we even acknowledged it during
there's twice where I was sick when we were filming. And the second time was when we made this desk, the rainbow resin desk. And I remember like, I was having flashbacks to the first time I was sick, and I was like, I can't just pretend to be normal. So we just like acknowledged it.
Yeah.
And then I felt a lot more freedom to just be like lower energy in that moment, and it was fine.
What was the other video?
The other video was our Christmas ornaments video.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was miserable for you.
We have a couple. It's the one where we did 3 different styles, not the resin ones that we did with Make Something as a collab, but the 3 different style ones. So it was like right before Christmas. We were in a super huge rush because we were working on a bunch of projects and we were working on Christmas presents for everybody. And like everything had to be done before Christmas. And we were working on holiday orders because we still like sold products to West Elm at that point. So there's so many things. And it was our first like holiday rush for the products.
That was so stressful.
Which is such a stressful time.
Oh, just thinking about it.
And so like we couldn't put off the video. So I was like, I'll just film even though I'm sick. And so if you guys watch that video, I had a fever the whole time we were filming it.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, we felt like we couldn't stop, and we really couldn't without breaking commitments.
Yeah, because we had sponsor commitments and stuff
the
already.
main lesson we learned is just like, don't commit that much.
Yeah.
Have
it took us
wiggle
another
room
like
and
year
leeway.
or two to learn that lesson.
The king assumes that I feel like you guys are extremely different on camera. I think we've addressed that like many times, haven't we?
Yeah. No, we're not really different. Like
No, yeah.
The main thing the camera misses is like the times where just not much is going on and we're just kind of like quietly working at our desk.
Yeah.
But
Morgan Ann assumes that both of us drink at least a pot of coffee to finish your projects at night. No.
Oh,
we
no.
just do not drink coffee because then we can never fall asleep.
yeah. Well, I mean, you mean at night. We drink coffee in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
We share 1 cup of coffee.
Yeah. No, we don't go crazy on the caffeine.
Yeah, we would just never sleep. We have a hard enough time sleeping, so.
David Dick assumes that you don't like to rewatch your previously published videos. You know, I actually kind of do.
I kind of do. It's like a mixture of like enjoyment and a hint of cringe.
Past a certain point. I mean, past a certain point, I just kind of, I'm proud of them. Mm-hmm. And I like them. And like, sometimes I'll go back to watch. Maybe this is like, I don't know, this is going to sound conceited or something. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but like, sometimes I'll go back to like, watch a video to see what product we used or to like pull some bit of information from it. And I'll just like start watching it. Like, oh, that was a good video.
I stand by that.
I stand by that. The thing that's craziest to me though is how short our old videos are. More than anything, like more than the cringe.
It's so weird.
I'm just like, that's so short.
I know. Our videos used to be like a few minutes long. Like I remember we did the when I was editing that very first batch that we released all at the same time. One of the garage videos was like 7 minutes, and I was like, "Is it too much? Is it too long?"
There's like a 3-minute video in there.
We have a 2-minute video.
2-minute video. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It is weird. Yeah, but we don't dislike it. It's like I said, it's kind of fun. There's a little bit of cringiness. Like, you know, I wish that like our audio was better in older videos.
Yeah, the audio does make me cringe.
That's the main thing that makes me cringe. It's not like us being awkward. It's like, yeah, it's cringy, but it's who we are, so whatever. But like the audio makes me cringe a little bit.
Man, there's so many. There's like 2 more assumptions. Jada, I assume Evan started the YouTube channel. Steven, I assume that the channels were Evan's idea. That's interesting. Multiple time.
Yeah.
Now the channels.
The gaming channel was definitely your idea.
Definitely my idea, and I think Evan and Katelyn too. That was my idea.
I don't remember that one.
Podcast.
I think the podcast was a joint thing.
It was joint, yeah.
Because we were.
It was another like shared vision.
It was around the time where we started both listening to podcasts.
And it just seemed to make sense because there are just certain things where this is just the best format. Like responding to y'all's assumptions about us. There's, you know, this is, you know, this, you don't need to like necessarily watch us for this, even though I know that a lot of people do have this on in the background or watch this in video form. Hi. But like, you know, this is a nice background thing where a lot of our content isn't as much background. So it just is a good place to have it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
From Lauren Nicole, I assume y'all get tons of sponsor offers, but take very few.
Oh my gosh.
So we have severely cut down the amount of videos we do. There's a period where we were doing like 4 to 6 per month, and now we do like 2 a month. And so like by the nature of that, the amount of sponsorships we accept has gone down significantly. And we have a couple long-term sponsorships that are like recurring. So like we're basically booked for the year. Even if we weren't, I think there'd be still a lot we turned down.
But in terms of the quantity, I think I'll divide it into three categories. So there's the stuff that doesn't even meet the threshold.
That we just don't even respond to.
That we just don't even respond to. So it's like we get a ton daily.
Yeah.
Like multiple a day on average, where that just.
We could do a whole podcast on sponsorship specific. So if you guys want that, let us know in the comments.
But I think this is something interesting to touch on just briefly. A little teaser. And then there's the mid-tier where we either think about it for a little bit, but most of the time we just, or if it's like a really good fit for one reason or another, we'll maybe like check to see if we can work something out. And then there's the stuff that like is worth considering. And even in the stuff that's like really worth considering, like companies that everyone recognize, monetary amounts that are very appealing, we still turn down those more than we say yes.
Yes.
There's more of them that we say no to than what we say yes to. And we've told some of our families about like the general scope of things, because there are NDAs that we can't breach, but like
some of the companies that we've said no to, and they're like, what? But then they're also like, you guys should not work so much. But what? How could you say no to that company? And we're like, we don't have time.
I know our parents watch this. Hi guys, love you. it's just funny to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do say no to so many sponsors because of a ton of reasons. Yeah, we could do a whole podcast about sponsors. I think that would be interesting, but we also have to be very generic about certain things.
Yeah, we wouldn't be saying specifics just because of like NDAs and relationships with sponsorships.
We can't share numbers, we can't share names.
Yeah, but we could talk generically.
We can talk generically, yeah. That's interesting. Eth Orlin assumes that there's an exorbitant amount of cleanup work that goes on behind the scenes of your projects. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Some projects, obviously, much worse than others.
When did we do our live stream underwater?
The stream itself was like a week and a half ago.
We just cleaned up that mess 2 days ago. 1 day ago? 2 days ago?
Yeah. I mean, you guys saw the photo of our living room on socials, and that was just the living room. That wasn't even the workshop.
There's constant. It's constant.
It's constant. It's just like a rotating mess.
Yeah, it's just a rotating mess. So yeah.
And some projects are worse than others.
Oh my gosh, Summer Bell assumes that if we ever did a collab with Jenna and Julian, it would be too much Aries energy disaster. No, it would be balanced. It would be balanced because Katelyn is also.
I am a Virgo. Yeah, I would balance.
Now, of course, they're not really filming much videos right now, and
and they also don't know us.
They don't know us. Like it would be cool to meet more YouTubers and get to know more YouTubers, mainly just so we can like share these experiences that
it's hard to talk about like
these
of the stuff
bonding experiences that YouTubers go through.
Yeah.
It's like whenever like I think one of our favorite things about going to places where there are other content creators is sharing all these stories and like all like bonding over shared experiences. I think that's just that's our favorite part of going to events. Our favorite part. Yeah. All right. Do you have one?
Okay. Yeah. This person asked 2 questions, so we can answer them separately. Well, one is very similar. I assume you want to do a collab with Simply Illogical. That would be fun. We watch a lot of Simply. Yeah. The other one is, this is from Megan. Did I say that? I don't know. I think you guys get nervous when you film in a store, like when you go to Lowe's to pick out materials for project.
Yeah. I think in terms of collabs, like we do really want to do more collabs in the future, but we want to get to know people first.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard to do more collabs until we like went to events again, and also we can't do them now because we can't.
Yeah. Events aren't happening, and traveling for collabs is not happening.
So in terms of getting nervous when you film in a store, we used to more.
Yeah.
I'm more cool with it now.
Yeah. So for the example you gave, Lowe's, they were a sponsor of ours for a pretty long time. And we were there a lot. So I was less nervous about filming there because we like got to know a lot of the employees there because we were there all the time and they knew that we did YouTube videos. So like the filming was kind of normal.
We're not going to prank the employees there or something like that.
Yeah, we're not like trying to, yeah, exactly. We're not like doing a like in-store prank. I did get nervous filming in Walmart when we were picking up our ugly Christmas sweaters because Walmart is a place where a lot of YouTubers like go and do shady stuff. And I was like, oh no, if we're filming here, they're going to think we're doing shady stuff. It was like, we're just filming us picking up like Christmas sweaters and trying on different Christmas sweaters. We're not doing like a prank or anything.
I did get a little bit nervous. We were like hiding the camera a little bit.
Kind of hiding
the very discreet.
Which made us probably look more sketchy. So yeah, kind of depends on the place.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Yeah, at Lowe's, the managers and the people there got to know us, and they knew that we had the blessing from Lowe's corporate.
Yes.
But when we filmed at the other store, we actually did get approached.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "Are you filming here, or do you have
permission to film here?"
And we're like, "Actually, we actually do."
We actually do. Yeah, that's when we went to another location.
We have been requested to film in here. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Everyday life assumes that there are dirty jokes, comments that you have to edit out sometimes. Oh, maybe.
I leave in some of the ones that aren't too bad. Yeah, but we do have to edit out some stuff.
There's an interesting assumption about how we present our jobs. Okay, the whiz dad assumes that family get-togethers can be awkward when the question is asked, "What do you guys do?" And instead of answering, "We own a digital media company," we say, "We make YouTube videos and play games on Twitch." It really depends on the circumstances. We've answered both ways.
Yeah, for family, all of our family knows what we do.
Yeah.
Like we're both pretty close to our families and even like extended families because we both have big family reunions every other year. So they all know what we do. There are sometimes like when we were picking up the scuba gear for our underwater stream.
We're making an advertisement.
Yeah, they were like, "So what are you guys doing?" And like, because he had asked like where we're diving, and we're like, "Oh, we'll just be in a pool." And he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And so we're like, "We're filming an advertisement."
And you know what? We were being perfectly truthful.
That's true. That is true.
We are a production company, in a way.
Yeah.
Small.
We have sponsors, and we film advertisements for those sponsors. So, but sometimes you just don't feel like explaining.
It's easier. It's easier. Tayuki Vlogs assumes that we receive a lot more injuries from your projects than you show in your videos.
You receive a lot of minor injuries. Nothing too major, but like your hands have gotten pretty scratched up.
I'm trying to remember like what... Honestly, most of the times I've injured myself, it's been in between projects. Like I have cut myself with a knife before. I have dropped I was moving a lamp from one room to another after we had bought it, and I dropped it. Right, it was a glass. It was a glancing blow against our countertop, very light tap, and a shard hit my foot. But honestly, I've been more injured in my everyday life than in making projects.
Maybe it's because like when we're making projects, like even though we do come off as goofy, and I'm sure sometimes we have like forgotten to do everything perfectly, but we are more conscious of like, ooh, we should put on safety glasses for this, or like, ooh, gotta do this, or. And
I think that like we have done like unintentionally, like there's one video where we did something dangerous. We were using a table saw wrong.
And we privated that video so that we weren't like perpetuating an unsafe practice.
But in general, I think that both of our work environments promoted safety a lot in our past jobs, like because we worked normal corporate jobs and I worked in engineering, in new product development, in product testing. So I worked with machines spinning at 10,000 RPM and high pressures and like pressures that are like way beyond anything we'd ever see in our house, like 10,000 PSI pressures and stuff. So working in that environment really prepared me to like.
My work didn't really have any
really
safety
stuff. But there's still a culture of safety.
Not really.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Not in the branding team. Not with the graphic designers.
Yeah, okay, well, then maybe that's something that's on my mind a lot. And
I've picked up habits from you.
Yeah, I had to get I feel bad. I feel like weird scolding Katelyn, but when she was cutting with knives towards her, I'm like, you shouldn't do that. And she's like, I can do what I want.
I didn't say that. I said I was going slow. No, but it was bad. It was bad. I shouldn't have done it.
And then you said later on, you're like,
I'm glad you called me out.
but we do take safety. Safety is very important to us.
Knock on wood, we haven't had any.
You only get one body part of all your body parts. Well, I guess you get multiple of them, but you have a limited number of body parts to injure, and you have to be very careful with them.
Yeah, luckily nothing too bad or extreme.
I think actually, Katelyn, I think we might need to wrap up. We still have we still have so much more specific to streaming, specific projects.
Oh my god!
And we're an hour into this.
Oh my gosh, you guys, we're never gonna get through all these assumptions. Okay,
these are so much fun.
They're really
fun.
Should
we take a break to do another type of podcast?
Okay, you guys let us know in the comments. Do you want more assumptions? Or do you want a different format? Because we've done 3 assumptions podcasts, but they're really fun for us.
Maybe in the YouTube video, we'll do a poll in the card.
Oh, we could do that. Are you going to remember to do that? I'm not going to remember.
If not, I'll do it on a Twitter comment or a Twitter post. And if I don't do that,
remind us.
Because we might forget. But this has been really fun. But it's time to move on to Thing of the Week. My thing of the week is, this is going to sound lame, and I often do lame things, but the lame things that are very cool too.
Yeah.
My thing of the week are cord organizers.
But it's specific type.
A specific type.
And you just ordered another 100 pack of.
I've gone through at least 200 of these cord organizers, and none of them have failed me ever. And what that means is I have 200 cord organizers on 200 cords? Do we have 200 cords?
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of cords.
That's a lot of cords. Or maybe they're just round in various gizmos we've made or whatever. But
do you want to describe what kind of cord organizers
so
they are?
they're thin. They lock upon themselves, and you can attach them to cords really easily. But they're just for bundling cords or organizing cords or strapping things down.
I'll say it because you left out the main thing. They're Velcro. So it's like a Velcro strip with a loop on the end. So you can loop it through itself across one cord and then wrap it.
And you can combine them to make them longer.
Yeah.
So if you have a big thing you need to combine, you can just add them together. Mm-hmm. And then, but they're so versatile.
They're so versatile.
They're just all over all of our desks in our house.
We'll have a link to them as usual in the description.
Yes.
My thing of the week, which a lot of people have been talking about this lately because it's on Netflix right now, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So good.
It's so
wholesome, and it's just
so good.
It's just what we need at times,
We're on season 3, which is the last season.
And that's sad.
I'm very sad. We're halfway through the last season. But it's been really good.
Katelyn, you know what?
What?
I can't say much about it, but there is a kind of sequel. Some people like it, some people don't like it. We'll see.
Oh man. Okay. We'll consider it. But yeah, it's really good. It's on Netflix right now, and it's an older show, but it's
it's so strange. I actually watched 3.5 seasons. I somehow didn't finish it, and I think it's just because I was traveling abroad and I didn't have all of them downloaded, and I just got busy and
never finished.
Yeah, it was too long since I'd last watched it, and I knew I'd have to watch the whole thing over again. So thank you for being the reason we can revisit this wonderful series. It's also so interesting watching the art style evolve and.
Well, it's interesting because we tried to start it up, the two of us, years ago. You were like, this is a good anime. I think you'll like this one. And we watched maybe 4 episodes, and I remember thinking
it's a slow start.
It's okay. It's a little bit of a slow start. But it goes. It's just so wholesome and cute.
It is. I like it.
Yeah.
I think the thing at the beginning is you were worried it was too just wholesome, too just cute, too just a kid's show.
Yeah.
You know, because it has that vibe a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, it doesn't like go too deep in the beginning into like the characters or the backstory. And it seems kind of more like episodic.
Fluffy. Yeah.
And then especially in the beginning, but like the story really builds over the seasons and like, you know, some parts like get kind of dark, which I like.
I think there's
but
the wholesome moments.
Of course, there's lots of wholesomeness. But it's a good show.
It's a good show. It's a good show. Alrighty, guys, thanks so much for joining us for another Evan and Katelyn podcast. I know we've been doing a lot of assumptions. Again, we'll have a poll somewhere. We actually have a very interesting card game that I want to try. We might do that next. Maybe we'll do we can do another assumptions. We can do the card game, or we can do thing on sponsors.
And the card game is a kind of like questions that we ask each other based card game. So it'll lead to a lot of discussions. It's not just like a game. I'm
not gonna say it's dangerous, but like, y'all,
kind of dangerous.
The questions that it asks are like the types of questions deep. That like
your
therapist
afraid would ask or something.
Like I'd feel weird asking anyone but Katelyn these questions in a way. Like there's different levels. There's questions for strangers, questions for friends, questions for your relationship, questions for like your serious relationship. There's all like different categories. But even like the questions for your friends, I would have a hard time asking
friends that
because it's so deep, personal questions. Oh man.
Yeah,
and some of it, like, I'm not even sure we've discussed them.
I know
these questions, so it might be a very interesting podcast. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent at the end. Again, we really appreciate all of the reviews y'all leave us on the podcast, the Apple Podcast Store, or wherever you can leave reviews. Reading those just like makes us happy, and it's a nice positive boost for our days. And plus, we just got to keep the ongoing prank of getting the Evan and Katelyn podcast high enough up in the charts that people will download it, not knowing what it is. And then
they're very confused because they don't know who we are.
So, we just got to keep on pranking them.
Prank.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.